All right, my darlings, we are at the final part. We are going to start assembling our crochet hook case. So we've finished all of our stitching. We've got a little button loop too, so cute. And we're still attached to our work. We haven't cut our yarn. We still have this active loop kind of hanging out in space. So the pattern says remove your hook from the last stitch and cut your yarn, leaving again a 20-inch tail. It does not need to be precise. Let's just, eyeball it, right? We've got this little length here. We'll do like a foot, a 2 feet. That's fine. Grab your snips or your scissors, cut your yarn. Okay, and then we've got to close this last active loop. So you're going to pull up on the tail. Like if you pull up on one side, it doesn't do anything. But if you pull up on the tail side of the loop, we're going to pull it all the way so that the tail comes out. We no longer have a loop. We just have a finished stitch. Yay, congratulations, you're done with the stitching. We're gonna orient our project the exact same way that we finished our last row. So for right-handed crocheters, your slip knot is going to be in the bottom right corner this time, and your ending tail is at the top left corner. If you're left-handed, it's reversed. So your slip knot tail is in the bottom left corner, and your ending yarn is at the top right corner. Okay, so go ahead and take a moment to orient your work. Now we're going to start folding, and if you have clips, like sewing clips, you can do it, but it's okay if you don't. It lays pretty nicely. We're now going to take the bottom of our rectangle, the section that was our single crochet part, and we're going to fold it up towards the top. So it's like an inch and a half shy of the tippy top. And now we're going to fold the top over the remaining inch to inch and a half. Yeah, you can see it comes together. Here's where it might get a little tricky. You're going to need some dexterity. So we're going to thread one end. I like to start with the slip knot side, the slip knot tail, because it's right at the top where we're going to start stitching down. So I like to, for threading my darning needle, I like to twist my yarn in the direction of the ply, and then I fold it so I have a little nubbin, and then I shove that through the eye of the needle rather than trying to shove the fraying end of the yarn through the needle. And then we can hold our work in our non-dominant, in our helper hand. And we're going to do what's called a running stitch. A running stitch just goes like through all the layers of fabric, and then you take like a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch step down, and you go back down through the fabric. You go up, down, and you take little steps across. And it's really important that we go through all of the layers. So at the top, we have 3 layers to go through, 1, 2, 3. And once we get past this little lip, then we only have 2 layers. I also want to suggest that when you're catching yarn, that you're catching more than just one loop. You want to, get a little bit more meat, just so the yarn has a lot more to hold on to. So we're kind of in the center. Let's maybe just like go through the back really quickly. So we'll start in the back of the of the project, and make sure you pull your yarn all the way through. You don't want to leave a little tail. And then let's come up to the front. So I'm maybe going to go through this little loop here because that's a good thing to hold on to. Make sure I catch the middle section, and then finally the top section. It's okay if you split some yarn. If it looks bad though, then redo it. Pull your yarn all the way through till you can't anymore. And now we're going to go front to back. So I'm going to take a little step down, 1/4 inch or so, top layer, middle layer, bottom layer. I'm catching, multiple strands of yarn, not just one. Pull all the way through, nice and tight, right? We don't want our hooks to fall out. Now we're going to go back to front. So bottom, middle, top. And this is a running stitch. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. To the back again. Now I'm only in the 2 layer section, but keep making sure that you're catching, 2 strands or more of yarn, not just one little strand of yarn. Just, you don't want it to tug. It just creates a lot of tension on one strand, and then it's just not as secure. So in this section here where there's not a whole lot, I'm just going to like bring some yarn. Just bring some yarn with it. It's okay. So we'll go down to the bottom. For this kind of a thing that's going to be used a lot, like it's, utilitarian, right? We are going to go down and up. Just makes it real secure. We don't want those hooks falling out. All right, so we're at the bottom. And now that I'm on the front, I'm just going to go to the left again, taking little running stitches, like running stitch steps. And it should kind of be opposite, like wherever I left space on one side, I should now be filling in with the return pass. It doesn't always work out and you can't really tell so much, but if you've been spacing them pretty evenly all along, you'll basically be filling those gaps. But it is very secure. It's really, as long as you're pulling nice and tight too. This thing isn't going anywhere, I'll tell you what. So let's just go up to the top together. So now we're back through, oops, don't pull too tight. We're now up through the 3 layers. Oops, there we go. And then we'll talk about how to finish this. I'm just going to go through one more layer maybe, and then maybe back down just a skosh because that felt a little bit loose. Okay, so for weaving in these ends and for finishing this, you can tie a knot here, but you don't want to tie a knot on itself. Or like right here, you want to tie a knot on itself, but you need to do like an extra little loop-de-loop. So I'm going to go through some fabric just a little bit down below where my yarn is coming out. So I have a small loop, and then I'm going to send my needle through that loop, and you can pull that tight. All right, and then we're just gonna like send this end. I'm working in the back. I'm just gonna send my tapestry needle down through all of the smushed, stitched together ends of the stitches here. And it feels, nice and tight because there's a lot of things, holding on to it. Like if I'm pulling that through, there's some resistance. So I know that the work is holding on to my tail, and I'm also gonna go back up. But we want to be careful that we don't leave too large of like a strand of yarn. We want to make sure that our tails are really woven in. So I'm just kind of like shoving my tapestry needle through everything. I can't even see the tapestry needle. That's how, cluttered it is in there, like how tight it is in there. And then that feels like a good place for me to end. So there's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no right or wrong way, just whatever feels secure. And then since we've stitched up and down and we've tied a small knot, not a big knot, and then we also sent our tail back and forth, I feel very confident in cutting this yarn right up close to my work. And that's okay if you got a little bit of yarn showing through. That's the beauty of handmade things. Keep your scrap yarn because we can use some of it to attach our button. Okay, let's do the other side. We're going to thread our needle, twist a loop with the ply of the yarn, make a little nubbin, send it through. And then this one's a little bit different, and we also want to make sure that this is laying parallel. Okay, because things can shift from one side to the other. Now, this tail does not start at the top or the bottom. It's right in the middle. That's okay, but this bit here is what's most important. We want this part to be really secure because that's where some tension is going to be, right? We're going to be opening it up. So what I like to do is go up first, then down, then back up again. So this gets 3 times over, and that's okay. And it's okay that the other side didn't have 3 either. That's a-okay. So we're on the front. Let's send it to the back. And we're going to go to the top. So I'm working to the right. I've got 3 layers to go through. Most importantly, catch that top one. Actually, I'm going to go through there. There we go. I just like the look of that. I wanted this bar to be to the left. All right, we're doing running stitches, obviously. Making sure you're catching all the layers and you're not just catching, one strand of yarn. Let's get multiple strands of yarn so there's lots to hold on to. And I'll make a U-turn here. Sorry, it went out of frame for a second. Okay, and now we're going to go back down. I think what I'm going to do, though, is skip ahead in the video because you've already seen me do this once. So we're going to go down and then all the way back up. You can do that little knot tying thing and then weave in your ends. So I'll meet you after we weave in all of our ends. All right, one final snip here. And all that's left to do is our button. Yay! So if you have needle and thread, you can go ahead and sew that button using needle and thread. I just want to point out, you want to stretch out your buttonhole, don't, pull on it, but stretch it out so it lays flat. And then your button should be stitched right at the bottom of the loop, not at the top. Otherwise, the loop could always pop out. You want to have a little bit of tension on that loop as much as you can. And then you just want to also make sure, because crochet is very lacy, that you're stitching like around, posts of stitches, right? We need the yarn or the thread to hang on to something. So if you're using needle and thread, go ahead and thread your needle. But if you are using your scrap yarn, all we need to do right now is get 1 ply of yarn. So I'm going to untwist the yarn, and then I'm going to find one of those plies. My yarn is 4 ply. So I'm just gonna grab one, because it's really like embroidery floss. That's like the thickness of it. Sometimes it gets knotted on itself when you're trying to undo 1 ply. So just do it slowly, and you kind of have to like hold all 3 ends. You need 3 hands to do it. But we don't need a whole lot of it. So honestly, that's pretty fine. That's like, what, 8 or 9 inches? That's okay. So I'm gonna cut this bit off. I don't need the rest of it. So I just have 1 little ply of yarn. And the reason we're using 1 ply is because these eyes are small. If you have a tapestry needle with a smaller eye, and you have bigger button eye holes, that's fine too. But what you can do now is wet the end of it, of your tail, and we're going to, oops, wrong way. We're going to send the, sorry, I got fuzz in my mouth now. We're going to send the yarn or your thread through the underside of the button, and then down through the other eye. Or if you have 4, go through all 4 of them. I like to make an X on top, but you can also make, an equal sign, whichever. We want to make sure we find where the button needs to go. So I'm going to place it, I'm going to grab